Tonight on the Big D and J Rowdy Show, we skim through 10 months in 10 minutes. Rowdy does what he was told he couldn't do, and I become part of the Me Too movement.
Awesome. It has been about a year since we've been doing this.
Yes.
If you guys could have seen us try to set up our shit to do this, you would have laughed.
Like it was the first time all over again.
Well, we're in a new studio.
Justin's deck.
Yeah.
We went from Justin's dining room to Justin's garage to Justin's deck.
Right.
So, what do we got first? 10 minutes.
10 minutes of July of last year till about May is what we figured.
All right. Well, you can go first.
Uh,
We'll go around counterclockwise.
okay. Well, I didn't make it to Hemi Insanity last year because I blew up another transmission, and then the car was pretty much down the rest of the year. Didn't finish the tune on it before I put it away, and it took till about the 1st of May before I got everything all back together, which is part of the reason why we didn't podcast.
You just speak into the microphone, sir.
Because there was not much to talk about. Maybe that's too close.
That's too close.
Okay.
Take the microphone out of your mouth.
Oh, was it?
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I was actually happy that the season ended last year because I was so frustrated with everything. I just sat over the winter and didn't do anything.
Kind of sulked in your sorrows.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sulking is fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Your turn.
we're going counterclockwise. It's
Okay.
Adam.
I just lived life. I mean, about as simple as that. Got Dustin's car about as lined out as I could.
Right.
Yeah. What a
It
what a
was,
disaster.
It was a shit show, to say the least.
Yeah.
Some people shouldn't just be able to touch wrenches. They should definitely stay as far away from vehicles as they can.
Yeah.
Car was an absolute disaster. Timing was way off. Like, I've never worked on a vehicle to where the timing was so far off that the ECU learned the incorrect timing as the new timing. So then when I reset the timing to correct the cam crank correlation was so
we
far
had to
off.
relearned at the dealership.
Did we cover that in a podcast last year?
I don't know.
It was
Honestly.
during all the commercials for
Yeah.
Detroit Muscle
Yeah.
that we
I'm
ran into all those problems.
no longer affiliated with them, by the way.
Either way, that's all I did.
Yeah.
My life's been going good, going great. That's about it, Justin. Your turn. As he walks away.
Come on.
You just teased the dog.
He wanted out. I opened
Yeah.
up the door and then he ran away.
But then he came back when you walked away. Look at him.
He's a
Look at
fucking.
him.
I'll be right back.
All right.
That's what you
Come
need,
on.
like the Jeopardy music. Where it's
Yeah.
like, there, see? That's all he wanted, Dad. Hey, buddy.
Somebody else needs to keep an eye on him while I'm out here trying to run the soundboard podcasting thing.
Soundboard runs itself.
No, it doesn't. So, last year,
What did you?
my car didn't work right either. It broke parts often. And
You ended up lifting ahead.
yeah, the one A to B pass it made was 10:49. After all that work, I gained like 3/10, and it lifted ahead and pushed coolant. So over the winter, it was down at the engine builder's house getting redone and retuned, and then we went down there in April or May
Yeah.
and picked it up, and it was ready. And anybody that follows the pages saw it was like, what was it, 8 something, almost
Yeah,
900 horse.
870 something, I think.
So, with that little D1, that's about it.
The little D one that could.
Yeah. Well, I got a new house for a new studio. It's the whole reason I bought the house was for a new studio, so we
Right.
can actually get back to podcasting.
Good purchase. Good purchase. We appreciate that. Which is closer to me. I dig it.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I
now-
split the difference between
Yeah,
us,
so
Yeah.
now you're in the middle.
which means this is a party house now.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Don't tell my wife, just show up and we'll party.
All right.
So,
Just
So
watching for the dog.
I don't know that I got my car tuned finally in about May. Left like half of my tires in an industrial park, getting it done. But man, once it finally was right the way it was supposed to be, I was really happy with how it performed. And I ended up taking it to Lapeer for a test day and got my whole season goal on the very first pass, it was like an 1197 or something, first pass. So it went pretty well.
that was what else happened that day?
Well,
So wait, this was Lapeer before the remodel,
yeah, it was.
before new owners,
Yeah, it was the last day of the old setup.
right? Because eventually we'll get to the new setup
Yeah,
of Lapeer.
yeah, shut down for a few weeks, and that was the end of that. But I didn't aim for it to happen, but that's just kind of how the staging lane shook down, I guess you could say. I got to run James.
Now, I don't care who I line up to next to any other time, but if I ever get in at the tree next to Molpus or Jesse, I don't care if it's like if the car is completely not lined out and
Right.
not even idling right.
Right,
Motherfucker, it is a race.
it is a race.
Like, I don't want to lose. I don't care. So I think we're all in agreement, and later on we find out on Facebook that everybody else is in agreement with us.
Right.
That was a race.
Right.
How did that go?
Oh, I beat him. I definitely had him in the first 8th mile. My car has kind of reversed itself. Its strength is now definitely the first 8th mile, whereas before it was dog shit slow off the line and did okay on the big end, but now
Well, the gear will take away from the big end. Big
right. And so basically, if I
So
don't have
correct
you by the
timing.
8th, I'm not chasing you down.
So do what?
So will correct timing. Incorrect timing.
Yeah. So, but I had him by probably several cars at the 8th, and then he's a stroker motor, so he was chasing me down on the big end,
Yeah.
but I still ended up in front of him. So that was
Don't
pretty
matter if
cool.
you win by an inch or a mile.
Right.
Winning's winning.
Well, it doesn't even matter how you win. If they break and you win, it's fine. Take it to the bank.
So
For sure.
yeah, no, it definitely.
Because on paper, that car should have.
Oh yeah, on
Yeah,
paper it
ran
wasn't
away
even a
with it.
race,
Yeah.
And the car is beautiful. I love the car.
but
I love the way it looks in my mirror.
but I accomplished all of my season goals that day. It went 1187 at 115. So I wanted an 11-second pass at 115 miles an hour and did a 1.660 foot. So I hit all my goals first time out. So
Which is good to see. I mean,
after years of struggling,
just the struggles that you went through with the car. I mean, I'm proud of you for just sticking with the car. I mean,
then
Right.
even last year being so close and still not being able to get it.
right?
yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely thought of driving that thing in the ditch and setting it on fire several times.
I still think about driving my car in the ditch and setting it on fire. So,
But,
We should scratch that just in case it ever happens. Jesus, dude. Insurance. Like, remember that day on
I don't
August
know what happened,
23rd,
it just-
back in 2018, when you said you were going to set your car on fire in a ditch?
Yeah. No idea what happened.
it's just a coincidence.
Just a slight coincidence.
Yeah.
I'll try to put it out. It's got a fire extinguisher in it.
Right.
But after that, we went to Mid-Michigan. Was
Yeah.
the next time your car was out.
Yeah.
And we put Saab in the driver's seat.
Yep.
Well, you put Saab in the driver's seat.
Yep, she got to have her turn at driving it. And Air was a lot different that day, and she did a pretty consistent 12-10 at about 110.
I mean, fact
Every
is,
time.
like, that's all your car had in it that day. It wasn't like
Right.
one good run and then all the rest were.
Right, yeah,
Worse.
no, they were all very similar runs, so I was proud of her. She did a good job.
That was the bully's first time out.
Yeah.
And I didn't even want to go. I was secret. I'm like, let it rain. I don't want to do this. I want to get out of this. Like, let it rain. I don't want to, because I was so afraid of my car not working properly or breaking something and then being done. Because, I got more bills now. I can't afford to fix it as fast when it breaks now. And did all right. The first run was a 10-0. And like I came back, like I knew it felt good.
Don't let him fool you. He was super pumped when he came back in the.
I mean, oh yeah, I came back. I did my Chief
out.
Impersonation. I was like, that bitch was riding.
Yeah.
But
he was pumped.
Then we had a long rain delay.
Yeah.
It felt like a long rain delay.
It was a good 2 hours or longer. It was long. It was a while.
Well, then I went up there and did a 9. No. I knocked it. No, it stalled after the burnout.
Yeah.
And then it was like another 10:49, and I was kind of upset.
Right.
But after that, it did a 9, and then after that, it did another 9.
Yeah.
So 2 9-second passes and a 10:01. So I was happy with that. I was really happy with that. Because that was crap air that day, too. It was damp air.
No, it was really bad.
She's moist.
Yeah, and when I ran the 9, though, I didn't even look at the slip because mid-Michigan, you just grab your slip. They don't, like, on the return road, which is cool. I like it like that.
Right.
But I just grabbed it and wanted to get back to the pit because I knew Jeanette was videotaping, which she's actually kind of getting the hang of it now because she'll turn it off before my time said, or it shows up on the board because, not that I care, people know how, it's not a grudge car, but too many people want to know. Like, and it's too big of a deal to them or something, so I'm just like, no, whatever, we're not saying it. Now I'll say it because it's definitely got more in it. It'll be quicker than that. But I came back, I didn't look at the slip until I got back. So Jeanette was super excited, so I knew it was good. So that was that adventure. And then after that, my car sat for a while. The next time I went out to the track, I went to the new Lapeer Dragway with Adam and Colin, and there were 2 other guys there that I don't really know.
Jeff and Chris.
Yeah, one of them has a badass car.
That's Jeff's Cobra.
Yeah, that's... Is he... You don't build that kind of car and not put the stuff on it that he was missing.
Yeah.
He needs to finish that up because he's got a kid, and that car is wicked fast. And
it's funny you mentioned that. He just sent me at 6:41 pictures of his drive shaft safety loop and his new updated belts.
Good for him. I mean, I was talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. I said, dude, I'm assuming Miles is your kid? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, bro.
You got to go home to him.
At least put a harness and a loop in it. You didn't spend all this money on the car to have a $30 part not be there and, like, flip your car if your drive shaft breaks.
He was in a lap belt and a shoulder belt.
Yeah, that was...
Running, cars would definitely... it went low, 960s letting
coasting.
out. It was like 960s at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, he ran it to the 8th and let out, and it was a 9-second... Quicker than both me and Colin coasting.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad he got that squared away.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely time for some safety gear at that point.
Absolutely. What was his first passes on the car?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Still, though, dude, you know.
Right.
You had to know.
The turbo was the size of my head.
Yeah.
I mean, but
it makes some steam.
At least, and it ran good. So that was good. Lapier's new track. So you went to Lapier's new track first.
Yeah, I was there for like a burnout photo shoot deal, and there wasn't any passes made. We just did burnouts, and the guy took pictures and stuff. So,
but you got to see it first. And
right.
Everybody was telling us how narrow it is.
It's not the widest place in the world, but God knows we've made hits on streets that aren't that wide.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely wider than James P. Cole.
Oh yeah.
But
right.
we weren't taking 9-second cars down James P. Cole either.
Yeah. The walls are so freaking high.
They are super
that
tall.
I think it gives people claustrophobia.
And the burnout box is narrower than the lane because the way that and I can't do a burnout to save my life. my shit stalls. I don't smoke the tires enough. I don't like my head gets to me. And then the last thing I need is to look out the passenger side window and there'd be a fucking brick wall a foot from my car.
It's the burnout box is definitely kind of narrow, but I just think it's more to protect the track officials than anything, I believe. But I guess we'll see how that shakes out. I've never made, I haven't made a pass on the official setup.
I mean, it hooks good. It hooks real good with my car. Other guys were knocking the tires off with a radial. I have a slick, but
that was just the lack of track prep. I didn't see him spray it once in the four hours we were there, and it rained.
Yeah,
twice. I get that it was just a test and tune, and the sticky costs money. I get it, but if you're going to put on a test and tune, and it was also
they had bracket
eliminations. Bracket
there.
eliminations there, which it doesn't have to be as sticky for a slick, but I don't know. They could have done a little better on the track prep. And then I watched them drag it after it rained, and didn't put anything. I mean, you literally just rolled all the sticky back off it, and started with a fresh track, but had no prep on it. That's why the radial guys are having issues, especially with the power that they were making.
Yeah.
They just poor track prep. That's why that took place, I believe.
I didn't think about it, but we could have technically, since I have Mustang ones, we could have put them on Colin's car.
Yeah, could have.
Could have turned it up.
But his is about as turnt as it can get. That car's pretty rowdy for what it is. That car's really fast with an untouched long block.
Yeah.
With over 100,000 miles.
Super quiet.
Right, it is. That car can make a lot of money with that car.
Was that before or after Streetcar Takeover?
Oh, that was after. So
this
we
was
should
after.
back up to Streetcar Takeover.
Whoa.
Hold on a minute. Yeah.
No, back it up. You're jumping all over the place. Come on.
Well, I'm just making note of it. We need to circle back to SCT.
Right.
Yeah.
Streetcar Takeover. We went. That was like middle of July.
Yeah.
End of July. I think.
July.
Yep.
Went to Indianapolis. Streetcar Takeover Indy. And Colin, our friend, was the only one that ran a car there. Because I was too scared to drag my car down there with my truck.
I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, they moved the schedule to normal drag racing on Sunday, which wouldn't have worked for me anyway because I had to be home to work the next morning.
Right.
And I know being on a slick, I couldn't run small tire, no prep competitively. I could have did no prep grudge, but at that point, I'd only been to the track once, and I really wanted to. The next time I took it out, I really wanted to achieve something new with it, so I wasn't going to go down there and beat on it no prepping. Maybe no prepping made my shit weak last year when it wheel hopped a little bit. I don't want to break anything again, so I skipped it. But we got down there late Friday. Well, I got down there late Friday. Colin got down there late Friday. You guys were there for the meet, Friday meet.
Shoot, dang.
Oh, dude, that was crazy.
Shit was wild.
I've never seen anything that wild.
Probably the best part of the weekend is probably the Friday night meets, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But that also fucks everything else up.
It does.
Big time.
They should be
pushes everything to Sunday.
They should be doing no prep on Friday night.
Yeah, I agree.
End of story.
Or just get rid of one thing altogether. If you're gonna have the Friday night meet, get rid of no prep or roll racing. But roll racing is kind of like an SCT thing, though.
Yeah, I think no prep would have either no prep Friday night or no prep would have to go.
Yeah.
Right.
There's too much.
No prep's kind of a hard thing because you can't hold a regular drag racing event and then the next day hold a no prep.
Right.
Yeah.
No prep has to be done first, obviously.
And there was so many classes.
Yeah, and you can't roll race after a normal drag race because there's water all over the track.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to dry up their water box for a Honda to go down the track at like 115 after they start at 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right.
No, they just have too much going on for a 2-day event. They leave themselves no room for error, so to say.
Right.
Like if you have a a couple cars break,
Wreck,
a
oil
rain,
down.
a little bit, rain delay. I mean, shoot, you've done wasted half of your day by the time the rain moves through, and now,
Well, and then to not start eliminations till 3 o'clock on a Sunday,
right?
Yeah, that just
when
You should
the
be-
event has been going on since Friday at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. There's no reason why you shouldn't be on track live by 10 a.m.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, well, we all got there. Gates opened for the racers on Saturday, which was for no prep and test and tune. We left the hotel at 8, and we were in line to get in by 8:15. Then once we got in there, we sat there forever.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll get on the mic and they'll be like, okay, street racer class to the lanes, and then 20 minutes will go by and they'll second call for street racer class,
Right.
and then another 20 minutes will go by and then they'll get on and they will actually say last call for street racer class, and then an hour later they say, okay, we're going to run street racer class, last call for street racer.
That should all be done in 30 minutes.
Like, if you're
Yeah.
not in the lanes, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Like, because you're there to race. So, I mean, that's just, it was kind of, I've given it a shot 3 times, 3 years. First year, it was May, so weather's always a crapshoot.
Yeah. Last year
And it-
was the same.
Yep. Which is, I mean, if the weather is not cooperating, I get it. Like, you're behind schedule because of the weather, you can't control that. But shit, the year after, they changed the schedule around, remember, because rain was in the forecast.
Yep.
They changed it around and the rain never came. So that put us all behind. And they started eliminations on Sunday at like noon, which was a little bit better than what they did this year. But I mean, I gave them 3 shots. And this year we had perfect weather. I mean, it wasn't exactly great weather to
Until
race in.
4 o'clock on
On
Sunday.
Yeah. So if we would have got
But
no prep Friday, all the racing in Saturday, and if we couldn't get it done, finish it up Sunday morning, it would have been
Right.
done. But instead,
Sunday at 4 o'clock, we're looking to go home anyways at
yeah,
that point.
everybody is. I mean, most of the people there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was really disappointing. Will I be back next year? I don't know. I really want to try to roll race, so we might go back for that.
I'll support them. I mean, they're great guys. It's a great event, but it definitely needs a little bit of work.
Yeah.
I don't like the Friday night meet. Racing should not be going on Sunday, especially for people that travel.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, it was a 5-hour trip home for us.
I mean, that
You
was
know?
without racing, that was a $400 weekend for me.
Right.
So these people that are traveling and racing and plan on leaving Saturday night even
Yeah.
to save money on the hotel, then they can't. So then they wasted the money to get down there and not see or do anything.
Yeah. I agree. No,
That was the other reason why I didn't race, was it would have tripled my cost to going
True.
down there.
And when we went down there, when we towed the bully down last year, it was easily an $800 weekend.
Oh yeah.
By the time I bought race fuel
Yep.
and you towing, I get shit gas mileage. You know,
Yeah.
but it was fun last year because it was like the first time out for my car, and most of my friends were there. Adam, you weren't able to make it because you moved,
Mm-hmm.
but it was cool because I got to hang out with my friends around my car for the first time. But I don't know if I'll drag my car down there to race again unless I do roll racing. I really kind of want to try that.
I think it'd be competitive in. I mean, I'm not sure how your car runs from a 35, but the mile an hour's there.
Yeah, well, the 40, it actually in 40 I can be right at the top of second,
Right.
and it actually does all right. So
I mean, there's
There's
cars.
been some roll race events at Milan now, so you
Yeah.
yeah,
can be a heck of a lot closer.
I'm running into some tire problems though, because evidently to race in the class I need to race in, you need to be a DOT tire, and I don't have that yet. So
Well, you are due for tires. Yours are on
Right.
their way out.
Well,
so
that-
maybe it's a.
that being said, my drag wheel setup is going for sale at the end of the season, and my CCW setup is going for sale at the end of the season. And I'm going to get some big boy wheels and tires.
Yep.
And then, if it doesn't break anything, it's on like Donkey Kong.
For sure.
So, oh yeah, wadding my tires up at Lapeer. Yeah, what did we do? It
What?
rolled them over. We went up to like 17 or 18 psi,
On a slick.
and it was still hooking okay though. Like it wasn't knocking them off, but I don't know. I seen some slow-mo and pictures from the event just this past weekend, and it didn't wad them up as bad. but it shook them. Like,
That
bad.
shake with the shake, you probably. I mean, we need to add more power to that car.
Down low.
Down
yeah,
low.
so we can spin the tires.
Yeah, you need-
unless I go with the radial, then we'll just leave it.
You want wheel speed either way.
Yeah, but
You can smack those radials so hard. That's what it wants. Them
you can, but not with the parts I have.
Oh, true. Yeah, they will dead hook and send your ass to the moon.
Get a little bit more mile an hour out of it too.
Yeah. Your issue, I think, is definitely a little more wheel speed. The tire definitely wanted to roll over itself.
Because here's the thing, people that don't know, so a slick always gives a little bit. A slick shouldn't ever dead hook. So if you stand behind a slick car when it makes a hit, you should be able to see black, like a black burnout almost all the way down the track, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it does dead hook, or even hook kind of good, and you don't have enough tire pressure in it, or your sidewalls are shot, it kind of, you see the crinkle in the sidewall of the tire, right? But that goes all the way through the contact patch too.
Yes.
So it creates wheel hop, and it'll shake the tires, break shit.
Yeah, there's nothing good comes of it.
So, and the only way around it is to get your tire pressure dialed in, or sometimes you can add a little bit more power to it to get the tire to spin a little bit more and not hook as bad or as good, whatever you want to call it. Neither of which I'm okay with.
Right.
So I got asked about tire shake by a couple people, so I wanted to cover that real quick.
Yep.
Okay, so we went to Streetcar Takeover. You guys had your track day. I was working.
Oh, can we go back to Streetcar Takeover?
Yeah.
When I was walking the line in the staging lanes, and I had a 20 in my hand. I was walking up and down, up and down, up and down. Nobody said anything. Well, finally, one guy with a Mach 1, you left after they talked to him. But he's like, oh, what do you got? What are you doing? I see what you're doing. What do you got down there? I said, that's not mine. It's a buddy's car down there. I don't know too much about it, and which isn't a lie. I don't know too much about it. I know it's a stock block with a Whipple on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it has a lot of miles on it. So, oh, okay. And I was like, you go up there and talk to him. I'm sure he's looking for a race. Because all weekend, all I wanted to do was bet my doll hairs
Yeah.
to make some money. And so we entertained this guy for like a fucking hour.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about how badass this shit is. And then he don't want to race at all. We get up there, and I try to bet somebody at the line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody took it.
I had no luck either.
And so, thank God nobody did, because that was the pass that Colin...
He knocked the tires off.
Yeah, he knocked the tires off. Got back in it and almost chased him down.
Yep.
But, yeah, nobody took that. And that was an easy $20 for somebody, because when his car's sitting there idling, you can't tell. I mean,
It sounds like a stock car with
it's
exhaust.
super quiet. It don't even sound like it's a stock car with exhaust. It's quiet.
Until it gets on the two-step.
Yeah. And right when I said that, you can hear in one of the videos, I was like, you hear how quiet that car is? And then he, well, shit. So,
Yeah, I only got to make a couple passes there with Colin on the no prep stuff. The first one, knocked the tires off. Made some adjustments to the shocks, tire pressure, and two-step. And it was a crapshoot as to what you drew. I mean, it was just testing tune. I mean, just however the lane shook down is what you ran. And there was this CTSV out there. Like
Gap City.
Yeah, it will be forever known as the Gap City race. This dude had his license plate said Gap City, and we pulled up, and I tried getting them to bet. I mean, anything from $1 to $100. None of them would take anything. I mean, I was like, really, you guys? There's 10 of you. You can't put $10 a piece into this thing. I mean, like, come on. They weren't having it, but good thing they didn't, because Colin had about a 350-foot lead on the dude by the time he even left.
Yeah.
Granted, the car had issues and was mosquito patrol the entire pass.
And it got worse every
yeah.
pass.
Yeah,
Before he would start
on.
smoking, like, so the first pass he raced Colin, he didn't start spraying for Geeters until about the 8th mile.
Yeah.
It was 660 to 1320 he was fogging. And then the next pass, it started at about the 330-foot mark. And I said, Tony was with us. Everybody was up in the stands when the car was roll racing. I was like, he's going to fucking burn oil all the way down the track. And sure shit, the whole way down the track.
Like from burnout to like letting off was literally blowing smoke out the right bank. I don't know.
So we put that on the Facebook,
We did.
and was it modern? No. Yeah, late model mayhem.
Late
right?
model mayhem, yeah.
Yeah, and nobody really. Of course, all the GM guys weren't on board with it.
No, they did
And I'm
not
like,
like it.
Regardless, his motor fucked up. So
Right.
there goes your Precious LS motor. That's
Right.
just like it can't even handle a stock blower because
Yeah.
it was a stock blower.
It was stock LSA.
And it was fogging for mosquitoes. And then they're driver mod. Well, if your license plate says Gap City,
You better be
I
prepared.
mean, I don't care where you're at. If
Yeah.
your license plate says Gap City and somebody pulls up next to you to race, it should be close,
Yes.
but negative. Negative.
Dude got trains ran on him, and it was amazing. Colin got his first no prep wheelie.
pulled a little bit of the tire
Got
there.
a little air, a little bit of space between him and the ground there. It was nice. It was, like I said,
Actually, he pulled one tire his first pass.
Yeah.
Jeanette got just one tire, but
Yep.
still.
Sunday ended up being a wreck, though. I mean,
I feel bad for you guys for that.
we stayed there. Like, literally, there was a G8 in front of us, and during the test and tune in the morning, well, turned into afternoon, but we were in the lanes, started to sprinkle a little bit, track dried, they sprayed it, everything was good. A couple more cars ran, and a G8 right in front of Colin ended up oiling the track down a little bit on the big end. So they cleaned the track, sprayed it, drug it. I mean, we're about to set the world on fire with this pass. Like, we had it hot.
You watched them spray it, and you're like, wait, get back in there.
That's what
Turn
we did.
that off.
I told them, I was like, dude, they're spraying the track. Like, you are the first car down. We need to turn this thing. It's going to go. Like, we're setting a PB today. And did his burnout. I was pulling him up, and the rain came. Like, literally in...
Oh, I didn't know you guys were staging.
Oh,
Yeah, right
He
after the burnout.
like
thing.
literally was staged. This Camaro he was racing a Camaro, pulled up and staged, and the skies opened up. Like, talk about heartbreaker.
Oh, man.
I mean, complete
I'd have
heart.
fucking sent it.
That's what he said. He's like, it's
just
got
accidentally
yeah.
slip off the trans brake. Just be like, whoops! I'm like, stay in it.
Oh man, it was heartbreaking. We backed up. They pulled us off the lines. It started to clear up. Got him back in it. They went out. Tyler Crossnow, who is like the track prep god of the radio world, he prepped it for us again. And while he's out there prepping it, it started to rain again. At that point, we took the car back and just started loading up. I mean, it's
Yeah.
3:30, 4 o'clock. We already were getting ready to head home. I mean, all of us had to work Monday except Tony, who works for his family and can take off days whenever he feels like it. So, but
Yeah.
and then we got literally where it was at 96 and 60 or 69 and 96 split there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's midnight. I mean, me and my wife Sarah were following behind Colin and Tony, and trailer tire blows out. I mean, it was a bad deal. I hate pulling over on the highway.
Yeah, because people don't pay attention.
They don't.
Man.
I mean, luckily it was curbside, so we're in the
Okay.
grass. But we did this NASCAR style pit stop and had that tire changed in about 5 minutes.
Damn.
It was legit. It went about as good as it could go,
Right.
and we got back on the road. But I don't know. Had its ups and downs on that weekend for sure. I don't know. We'll all go back.
Yeah.
As much as we say we might not, it's racing. It's what we do.
Well, I'm gonna.
It was cool hanging out with you guys,
Yeah.
but it just wasn't
Right.
I would
as
Rather-
good as it could have been.
figure something out local here. Like, I would have had just as much fun going with you guys to Brandon's shindig he had out
Right.
at Mid Michigan. I probably would have had more fun because I could have beat Brandon.
Well,
And
that's coming up
we-
September 8th. While you're talking,
Not the 8th. It's not the 8th. It's
September 8th is the.
oh yeah, that's when I'm having a party here.
I thought.
Housewarming shindig.
Is it September 8th?
Yeah. So,
I'm working that day.
but I would have liked it because we've been supposed to race for not as long as me and Colin were supposed to race,
Right.
but I could have knocked mine and Colin's race out.
Yep.
If he went, I could have knocked the Brandon race off too, and then I got that other Nick guy to race too. I don't know what's going on with his car, but
Nick Bouvier.
yeah.
That also had a cam installed incorrectly,
Oh,
but they got that figured out, and
cool.
so
Yeah, that's coming up. I mean, I could have raced Colin that day at Lapeer, and in fact, I should have.
You
'cause
should
I would've
have.
won.
I was
Yeah.
really waiting for that.
But
So was I.
I don't want to beat him when he knocks the tires off because honestly, the two cars are really equally matched,
absolutely
and it could probably be one of the most exciting races I've been in, even if I lost.
right.
Because that shit. Now I beat Molpus one time by like 0.002 of a second, and it was like my steering wheel was bent because I was pulling against it to push on the accelerator harder. Like I probably dented the floorboard pretty good, but that was exciting. I like exciting close races, even
Yeah.
if I lose. So I don't want to. Yeah, I could have beat him that day because I was the only car in that group aside from that really fast blue car, Jeff. You said
Jeff,
his name?
yeah.
I was the only car in that group that actually hooked that day. So, I mean, Colin knocked him off that white car, but that was just like a stock 5.0
Yeah,
with
that
a,
was tune, exhaust, and
Yeah.
taking a tire.
yeah, that wasn't much
So
competition.
you're saying it would have been a good race for me.
Actually, yeah, it went.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
It was going low 12s.
You know,
Yeah.
So, I'd rather race him when both of our shits are
Right. Exactly.
So-
I agree. What you got there, Dustin?
Hemi Insanity.
I'm out of this one. I
last
wasn't.
weekend.
Yeah, that was man.
I had the week off, but I didn't do jack squat.
Yeah, I
until
took the whole
Thursday.
week off and kind of finished up some stuff because my car, when it was down at Billy's, it was left outside, and the bully don't see outside, not in the elements. But so I spent some time doing that. I took the whole week off. Did that. Did a little bit of general repairs on the trailer. Did some housework and shit, and then Friday was it? Yeah,
Friday was a race.
So
I was running in this. I was going to run the street class, and everybody runs bracket.
right, so it's a 1250 index.
Yeah, street class is a 1250 index.
So that's substantially slower than what we know your car
Yes.
does.
Right.
Because before that, we know you did 11.8s
So
and 12.10s.
Yeah.
So we had to slow it down by like half a second.
Right. So I pretty much decided to go full weight, and then I put the slicks on it just for consistent launches, but left the 22s on the front, and like immediately heat soaked the car once I got there.
Yeah.
So I like the whole day never tried to cool it down at all, and leaving the hood shut, and we even used it as like a shuttle to shuttle people around the track. Like we did not care.
For every quarter mile pass it made, it did another half a mile of running around.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you made that quarter mile pass and come back down and picked up Saab and Betty at the line
Yeah.
and drove all the way back. And we pitted near the end of the track.
Right.
So
Yeah. So I was driving it around all day, and even ended up adding a bunch of weight to it, and eventually got it to run
yep.
the number.
So people that don't understand index racing, 1250 index, you can't go any quicker. So
Yeah, if you
ideally
go faster
you
than
want to be at
1250, you get
12.5.
disqualified.
Yeah, 000, 12.5, 000. That's all you want. Like, then you can
Yeah.
qualify number one.
Right.
And in theory, as long as you have consistent lights, you should win the
Right.
class because you're on the dial. So, the first time would you?
I think the
off?
first pass on the car was a 1242, but that was just me guessing at what I needed to do to
Right.
slow it down, and kept making a couple of passes through time trials and qualifying, and even through qualifying, I ended up qualifying like at the bottom
Yeah.
because I was too fast.
Yep.
I think I did a 1249 with a 6 on my last qualifying pass.
I mean, you made that one pass. You come back, and I was like, "Put the oil in it."
Right.
Like, so we
Yeah, I
literally
put
put 2
a-
gallons.
Yeah, a jug of oil in it, and ended up doing a 1252 and then a 1256. In bracket, I ran a 12. That was when I ran the 1252 on a 1249 dial against the guy that I had trouble with 2 years ago, also known as Lane Choice Guy.
So Not that, it's not that we've held a grudge against Lane Choice Guy for 2 years.
No.
It's just we couldn't settle the dispute last year
Right.
because of the rain.
Right.
Otherwise, it would have been
and
squashed.
my car wasn't there.
Right, exactly.
So I've been waiting for 2 years to race this guy, and in bracket, it's just random pairings.
Yeah, just whenever you
And
show up.
It called bracket class to the lanes, and I'm driving up there, and lo and behold, I'm right behind this guy.
So you had the option to stay behind him.
Yeah,
And take the
I
other one.
had the choice of, do I want to race this guy or not?
Right.
And let's do this. Let's get this over with. And he won the bracket points championship last year. Like, this
Yeah.
guy is as much as I don't like him, he's not a slouch
Yeah,
at this, that part of the game.
he's like Kyle Busch. He's an asshole, but he's really good at racing.
Right. So I decided to race him, and the thing that kills me the most is my car ran closer to the dial than his car did to his dial in. The reason he beat me was because he had a better reaction time, and I lost the race.
Yeah, well,
That's what's killer.
so that's what sucks about bracket racing is the driver will always lose the race,
Right.
if your car's consistent.
Yep.
But I showed up behind you for bracket class and seen who you were racing.
Right.
And I was far enough behind you that I could go up and watch your race and then go back and get in my car. And up until recently, I figured that was honestly like destiny, luck of the draw. I didn't think that you had anything to do with that.
Right.
So
No, but like I said, when it was over with, I could have ducked behind him and raced somebody else, but do you know how pissed off I'd have been if I ducked in behind him and lost to someone else
yeah.
and not had my opportunity at it?
Yep.
Well, to hell with it. Let's get this over with
Right.
now. First round. So
You never hit a home run if you don't swing the bat.
right,
Like, get up there and try.
right, yeah. So
Well, let's cover all of your Hemi Insanity experience, and we'll go to mine.
okay.
So
So we got through time trials and all that, and that's when I ran the 1252, got eliminated in bracket, and then
let's not talk about the very end outcome. We're going to leave people hanging until
Okay.
the Saturday at the lot.
right.
When it's
And then of course I was in the street class, and I went up there first round, and I think I went up against the number one qualifier, like I said, because I was bottom because
Yeah.
I went too fast, and made my first round pass, and I actually beat the guy. And that was the first time I've won a round in Modern Street Hemi shootout. So I'm like ecstatic.
Yeah.
And I get back to the pits, and I had been on E for gas for like 4 passes by now. I'm like, I just won my race. I need to make a whole nother pass now.
Yeah.
And not run out of gas.
Yeah, and
You
not
know
run
it
out
would
of
be your luck.
gas.
You'd be ahead of the guy.
Yeah.
And on your way to the third round, and you'd run out of gas.
Yeah. So, holy crap! I got $20 in cash on me. I'm running around the pits, and I'm like, who's got 93 octane? I need 93 octane. And lo and behold, who do I run into? DQ Dave.
We call DQ Dave because he owns Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
And his name is Dave.
Right. And he's the guy I lost to 2 years ago that like freight trained me at like 30-some miles an hour on the big end.
I mean, the bracket
race, yeah. So, and I got back, and he told me, like, after that race, he told me he was sorry
Yeah.
that he beat me. And I'm like, don't be sorry. This is what we're doing here. So that just tells you how nice of a guy this dude is.
He is a nice guy.
And he's like, I got some 93 here in this, like, a 3-gallon can, and I like, here's $20. Thanks for being, you know what I mean? Like, so what?
like
$7 a gallon at the track, and I need it right now.
Yeah.
So I'm thrilled that I found 93, period. So I get done dumping it in, and I'm literally handing the guy back his can, and he even gave me a funnel. And that's when it starts pissing down rain.
It poured.
Oh yeah, and like that was
pour.
that. You know what I mean? That was it. That was the end. I'm like, oh my god. Like I had enough gas to put it on the trailer,
Right?
you know, but
Jesus.
oh well, you know, it is what it is. If I didn't find it, you know, then who knows? But I say he was still a super nice guy, and glad he helped me out. So
Well, I didn't witness any of that because we'll get to my story soon. But I was busy trying to defeat a legend.
right,
It was a true David and Goliath story.
right. That's kind of the problem with these events is like when both of our cars are there, we just kind of
Yeah.
end up doing them separately because I'm trying to take care of my stuff, and you're.
But
trying
you
to
were
take
able
care
to
of
help me
yours.
when my ship broke,
Yeah,
which happened a couple times there.
right.
So,
But yeah.
so
I mean,
you went rounds in elimination,
right.
and then we got
I
rained
was still alive when it got rained out.
out. Yep.
So
So, you want to talk about me?
yeah.
This is a very entertaining story. So, I made 5 or 6 passes on the car before this day, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely no issues, other than wadding the tires up. So first pass, I go up there and I'm in doing my burnout, 3rd gear burnout, which in my car is fucking moving.
Right.
Like, no smoke off the tires. I'm like, maybe they're just not gonna smoke. I mean, I've been fucking sitting here, and I roll out of it, dry hop it. It seems to hook okay, and get up there. Now this is the first real passes after the intercooler's on. So I wanted to get down track data. So I cut an alright light, knocked the tires off. I mean, hazed them good, and then got back in it. And it was pulling really strong, and all the gauges looked where it was supposed to be. And then all of a sudden, there was the loudest noise I've heard since my car broke its pinion gear. And instantly, my heart dropped. But it ended up just being I blew a boost hose off. So we get back, and Big D helps me try to get my boost hose back on like a smoldering hot engine.
Right.
We had to move, like, the coolant tank had to be moved out of the way, and all it was starting to rain, so I was in a hurry because I didn't want to get wet.
Right.
And we wait out that rain delay. It was like a 2-hour long rain delay again.
Yeah.
They got it all dried up and everything, and it was my understanding that we were only supposed to make 1 time trial hit, and I already made 1. So I kind of hemmed and hawed about going back up there to make another hit. But I did, because why not?
Everybody else did.
Yeah, everybody else did.
I was gonna wait back and see if, you know, how many people would go back up there.
Yeah.
Nobody hesitated whatsoever.
Yeah.
I was still trying to find the combination for the 1250 index.
Right. Yep.
So I took advantage of it. So
I mean, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to get up there and make this second hit, and I'm not supposed to, and I'm going to, like, drive over my crank, and it's going to shut the whole fucking event down again or something, you know? But I did it anyway, and it actually hooked good. I mean, it shook the tires a little bit, like, wheel hopped a little bit. Not bad, though. And at this point, I needed a decent time so I could pick my dial in and know what class I was qualifying for, because after your 1 time trial we went right to qualifying, and I didn't know what to qualify for. So it blew the boost hose off again, second fucking time. Go back there, put it back on. There was another mutual friend of ours was at the track, and he's like, you can just qualify in modified, knock it down to the 1050 index, sandbag, hit the brakes. And no, I'm gonna race with the big boys, which is only 1 class faster than the class I raced in.
right.
Like, so next race, knock the tires off. Now in between them, I'm adjusting tire pressure like me and Adam did at Lapeer. So I went from like 15, I jumped it up to 17, knocked the tires off at 17. Went back down to 15 and rolled them over. Tried 16, knocked the tires off. So I didn't get a clean pass in with the car until round 1 of eliminations. Like, I qualified dead last. I had no idea what my bracket time was going to be. So just kind of dumb, I put a 10-0 as my dial in. So we made a bracket ran first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, bracket ran first, and I raced a guy that dialed in at like 1190. If
Shit,
you've never
quite a
bracket
weight.
raced, yeah, you're sitting there and sitting there. And I finally got to go, and I noticed, I was like, I'm gaining on this guy. It's fucking awesome. And I blew past him with literally like 30 feet left. So that was real nice. So I was alive in bracket.
Okay.
Go back around, first round of eliminations, because when you race, the closer to the fastest class you race, the less time you get between bracket, because they'll run bracket, and then you got to be back up in line, because then they'll run Super Pro, which is 950 and quicker, and then and there's only like 4 Super Pro cars. It's a really small class, and then right into Pro.
It has to be said, if you can't like hot lap your shit, then you should just not be in MSHS at all.
Or only run. A lot of the Super Pro guys only run Super Pro. They don't do
Right.
bracket. But yeah, that was a busy day. That being said, we got more racing in Modern Street Hemi Shootout than the whole event of Streetcar Takeover did.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was 75 to, I'd say like 75, maybe 90 cars there,
Yeah.
and everybody got at least 6 passes or more. But eliminations, I won first round and went back for second round, and I got to race the Hemi wagon. We're going to post pictures on the Facebook site so everybody knows what the Hemi wagon is. This is a carbon fiber Dodge Magnum. But
Yeah.
it's all motor, but it's carbon fiber, and there isn't shit left in it. I think
No.
it weighs like maybe 3,000 pounds.
I want to say it's like 2800.
Okay. So it's super light.
Yeah, and it's a 468.
Yeah, and the guy's 60 foot's like a 1.3, 1.4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bad bitch. The only reason I was running in this class is because down track I can make it up. And he's a bad motherfucker too. I mean, like, that dude knows
Yeah.
his shit, and his reaction time is always right on. And those of us in the modern Mopar world have followed him on his build forever. I know I have, like, before Facebook on the forums.
Right.
So it was kind of cool to be able to race that guy. And I actually treat him. Dude, I treat him and was ahead of the Hemi wagon for like a 1/10 of a second. Then he 60-footed the shit out of me, and it was over. But he only won by a car, which, I mean, that's a pretty good feeling to only lose to that guy by a car.
Right.
So, I mean, because I was, on paper, I was outgunned. I shouldn't have even been in that class. So, but I stuck with it. I didn't sandbag, and I went to the final 5 cars. So,
Yeah.
and then it rained, and I couldn't do bracket anymore.
Right.
So, it sucks because my car was consistently shitty. The whole day, it didn't run any better than a 1019. So I was only a 1/10 off my dial in time. So
Not too bad.
no, I could have done. And as it cooled down, if it cooled down, like, got near 6 or 7 o'clock, which was when we were planning on racing still, and
Yeah.
didn't rain, it might have came down to a 10-0.
Yeah, it was 6 o'clock when
Yeah.
it started pissing down the rain.
And dude, I was so wet from putting my car on the trailer.
Yeah.
It was like, it was bad.
Well, I had mine up on the trailer, strapped down, ready to go, and I was already soaked.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd at least come help you.
Thank goodness you did, because they know my Jeanette was not getting out there in the rain.
No. No. I was
mean-
already soaked, so it didn't matter.
You know, it was so bad. Like, I didn't even, and I couldn't drive through the Taco Bell we stopped at because I had the trailer, and it was a really sharp turn.
Yeah.
And so I sent Jeanette in. But I mean, like, everything was wet. Like,
Yeah.
boxers, socks. It went through the, like, I was drenched.
Yeah. So,
So we towed it home in the rain.
yep.
I got home, I put my shit in the garage and changed my tires. Literally all I did
Yep.
that whole night. Well, you stopped over.
Yeah.
But literally, that's all I did to the car. And then I woke up the next morning because we had to be down to the Woodward lot
Yeah.
for the fun part of Hemi Insanity.
Right.
And I wiped my car off down there, just wiped it off. And because I didn't want a dirty car. You know, you're sitting in a parking lot, there's tons of strangers walking by, it's got to look pretty. But I didn't spend my normal, those people that know me and know my car, I didn't spend a lot of time on making that shit perfect.
Right.
But I didn't. And then, so you got there, you put your car up on the dyno.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
On the way down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what happened on the way down there? Mr. Outlaw.
I was going down 24 between Lapeer and Pontiac there, and let's just say I used up all my good driving karma. I pulled up next to a guy in an SRT 300, and there was nobody in front of us. And it was one of those where I looked at him and he looked at me, and I thought I heard him stomp on it, so I did too. And so even if he didn't, he definitely heard me stomp on it. And we're going down 24. I put a couple of car links on him, and I'm doing well over 100. And we come over this crest, and Sabrina starts freaking out.
Did you get some air?
There's a cop.
Oh, I thought you got some air.
No, like, there's a cop in the middle, and like I slam on the brakes. Like I locked up the brakes on a car with ABS. And the guy beside me, I don't know if he saw the cop or not, but he definitely saw me slowing down, so he slammed on his brakes, and I ended up ducking beneath him in the right lane. And we passed the
NASCAR evasive maneuver.
Right, yeah, we passed the cop doing 55 right on the nose. And he pulls out behind us, and all I can think of is, oh God, thank God I have legal coverage.
Right?
Like,
my car's going to impound.
Oh yeah, like I am calling a lawyer, like right now. And he pulled out behind us and starts coming up, and he's not getting in the right lane. And I'm like, what's he doing?
Yeah, like, get over here and pull me over,
dude, just
asshole.
let's get this over with. Just pull me over right now. And he ended up driving past both of us. And I could not believe it. Like, I don't know if it was like the end of his shift, or if he didn't feel like doing the paperwork, or
I mean, that time of day, on that day, I feel like some cops are a little forgiving, as long as you're not Royal Oak or Berkeley or...
maybe he didn't have his radar active. Or,
yeah, maybe he had nothing to go on.
Yeah,
other than
might have had
sound
like
and
nothing
seeing
to
you.
prove that what was going on. I don't know. I just know I definitely got. That's the second time I've been caught street racing, and neither time have I gotten a ticket or even gotten pulled over.
Dude, me and Zach got pulled over for I still to this day don't know where that cop was at. But we were at a light and went from a dig right by the railroad track bridge on Dort. But dude, we were getting it. And he might have been behind us when we got it, because I wasn't paying any attention. You know, he just got his cam put in.
Right.
Which is the exact same cam, for the most part, as mine, but with a different name. And I sure as shit was not going to let him beat me. And he was definitely not going to, like, we were on it, and we both pulled over at the same time, and the cop said, take it home.
Yeah.
And my dumb ass didn't. But that was the only time I've been caught street racing. Like, actually
I've been
in the
caught
act.
twice. The other time was in college, and that time in college, the other guy was the one egging it on, was like revving at the light, and I just kind of obliged when the light turned green, so I think that's why he pulled over the other guy. But he was right behind us. No idea how I didn't see that. Thank God I got away with it anyways.
Yeah.
But so then we got down to the lot, and like you say, I put my car on the dyno.
Well, it was packed when you got down there at the lot.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was a big event this year.
It was. There was like hardly a space to even park.
Yeah.
And car went on the dyno, and about a month ago I had changed the alternator out, and apparently didn't notice it until now, but I put the alternator wire on the wrong side of the oil dipstick and ended up touching the header, and there was a cloud of smoke.
I was on the other side trying to see the dyno chart.
Yeah.
And I seen that. I was like, oh.
Like, oh, shit.
Oh, man. Good thing I got my trailer. Well, how am I getting my car home?
Right. But it may, I've watched the video a couple times. I know they let out early.
They let out early on my car. Every one.
But it made 420, so, whatever. I'm not taking that number seriously. Because the car was hot as can be, the air was hot as can be, they let out early. I know I'm using all the racer excuses in the world, but...
My cam wasn't camming.
Right, yeah. I mean,
my tune wasn't tuning.
Yeah.
Right.
Computer had a virus.
Right. I'm using every excuse in the book, but I'm not taking the numbers seriously. Whatever. We'll dyno it another time.
Yeah, I want to go to like a dyno day,
Right.
but I kind of want to do it and surprise people. So I want to go to one that like not a lot of people that we know are going to be at.
Right.
But so the lot we down at the lot watching Burnout, seeing some cool cars. There were some bigwigs from Dodge were down there.
Right.
The number one production Demon was there, like the first serial number 0001. Well, I mean, there wasn't really too much else, really. I mean, there were a lot of nice cars.
Right.
They had some bomb-ass food. So
I saw Rawlings stuffed a Demon into a freaking wall.
Oh, yeah. That was at Roadkill. That was the week before. And I don't know what this guy's problem is. I really want to like him,
No.
but no, I mean,
He was doing a burnout while staging.
yeah.
And then as soon as it turned green, this dude sticks it.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
did a burnout. He was intentionally trying. In my mind, he was intentionally trying to do a burnout. But knowing what I know,
yes.
and knowing what I know he knows about drag racing,
He's
that
I'm just
motherfucker
going
had
fast. Like, I don't
He does
know.
a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah.
But coming from like my business background and the way I want to be an entrepreneur so fucking bad, like the guy knows how to make money.
Oh, he's a money guy for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's
He is
definitely
not a racer.
Not a racer. He's not a driver. He's not a tech. He's not any of those things. But he definitely knows how to make money in the car business.
Oh, yeah.
And everything else. So I'll give him that much.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I had 1/10 of his money making ability. But
I don't know. I'd kind of take the ability to drive a car. I mean, that's kind of important too.
What was he
No,
gonna do? Get down
yeah.
there and say, "But I spun the tires all the way I won."
right.
Oh, it was Leah Pritchett. He was racing.
Yeah.
What if he? God forbid. What if he lost control and went into the other lane?
What did he do? Yeah, drove into
What
the
if he
side of her
fucked up
door.
Leah Pritchett?
Yeah,
If he fucked up Leah Pritchett, who's going to be my next wife?
right. As your wife's walking by.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I get.
like,
I'll give him props for his
Yep.
entrepreneurial skills, but not
Definitely a
much else.
businessman.
Yeah.
it would have been way cooler if he didn't do a burnout and he beat Leah Pritchett,
Right.
like with his non-driving, non-drag racing ass,
I
with
saw
his
that.
shop towel that's 3 yards long. Like it drags on the ground. Either he's really short, which he is, or his shop towel is really long.
Oh man.
Like you see me walk around, I have a shop towel in my back pocket sometimes, but my hands are dirty too.
Right.
So
So they gave out the awards Saturday at the lot.
yep. So they handled all the racing awards,
Right.
and how they ended up doing it was if the class finished, they paid out the cash and gave the trophies accordingly. If the class didn't finish, the top 3 ETs were awarded accordingly, but cash got rolled over to the next event,
Right.
which makes sense.
Yeah. So
So I kind of knew that I was SOL, but I was really kind of a little hyped because I got lane choice over Hemi Wagon. Like, so I knew that I did something right, you
Right.
know, and I made it to the last 5, so maybe, but I didn't really have high hopes.
right. I had made it through the first round. The street was one of the bigger classes.
It was, dude, yeah, it was,
Yeah.
that was like, the only one bigger than that was bracket, and that's because
Right.
everybody could run it.
And I made it through the first round, and like they said, it was the fastest ET in the last completed round. And I ran a 12:56, so I was thinking, well, maybe I'll be, third, fourth,
Yeah, somewhere in
something
there.
like that. And I was standing up there when they were giving out awards, and I didn't even really realize I thought they were still on the 1150 class.
See, I knew what class they were on.
Yeah. And turns out they were giving away the 1250
Right.
class.
So the
and-
whole time I knew they were giving away 1250 class, and I kept on waiting for your name to be called.
Right.
And then when it wasn't, I was like, oh, wow.
Right.
Like, okay.
And so Dan goes, first in the street class, Dustin Hemmerline out, like just complete like shock and awe on my face, like I won something, like holy shit.
Yeah.
So I stumbled my way up there because I was still in shock, and so yeah, I got a nifty little plaque that says first place in the street class.
I mean,
so
we earned that, though.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you there wasn't anybody else in the street class that was putting gallon jugs of oil in their truck to slow their car down.
right.
So,
Yeah. No, I mean there was definitely some work
yeah.
into doing what we did. So I mean it's not as cool as winning it the hard way,
Right.
but
I mean, but in theory, you would have won. I mean, if you cut an okay light, because I was even cutting decent lights. Like,
right.
well, Bill McFadden won. He cut like a .085 on approach. He's really good, but
Right.
dude, that guy has more passes than everybody we raced against down there had more passes than we've ever had.
Oh,
Maybe
gosh,
not
yeah.
in the street class, but as
Yeah.
a general rule of thumb. So, I mean, you won it. A win is a win.
Right. Well,
For
given
sure.
the rules of the situation, that's
Yep.
where I ended up. So I'm not gonna argue or say no or
Dude, I'm
You know.
super happy.
yeah.
And you got that hanging on your wall. What's it hanging under?
I temporarily.
No, not temporarily. Leave it there because it is freaking. I love where it's at. Did you see where it was
No.
at, dude? It's fucking badass,
I
dude.
hung it up underneath my Northwood University degree.
He's got his graduation picture and his freaking college degree, and then right underneath it,
Yeah,
first place, Hemi Insanity.
yeah. I put the caption when your family asks what you're doing with your life.
Right?
I
Yeah.
put it right on top of it. I put it over top of it.
Yeah.
So, but we were all standing there. They had car show awards, and they had other awards. They had like hard luck award for whoever broke.
Right.
The twin win award didn't go out because we didn't get to finish.
Yeah, nobody got to do King of the Hill.
And then there was car show awards. So they did car show like daily driver, all-wheel drive, daily driver two-door, daily driver four-door, show two-door, show four-door, show all-wheel drive. And then they had race class. So what this meant is your car looked fast. It looked like
Right.
it was supposed to be a racer.
Right.
And they had race four-door and race two-door. And they were going through some of the ones. I mean, some of the guys that won those awards, like that Hot Wheels Magnum, that thing was
Yeah.
nice, you know?
Right.
There was a lot of nice cars there, and I just happened to go back and look at my car number because I told you, and I was like, oh, they numbered cars. What's mine? And she goes, oh, 34. I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. And we go up there and we watch you get your award, and they're handing out all these car show awards. And
Yeah.
I thought for sure I'd be in like daily driver, right? Because my car doesn't look fast. And I go through all of
It's
it.
got a big ass blower on it and a
It's
roll
a small
cage.
blower. You get that right. It's a small blower. But so they get to four-door race, and I'm like, oh, I'm probably done because Henny Phil's there with his 300, which looks really nice, and he races it. And Hemi Wagon is way prettier than my car, I think. It's like all carbon fiber. It's paint matches inside on everything, and so they called car number 34 for second place, and I was like, oh, well, shit. All right, I'll go up there and get it. I totally wasn't expecting it. Jeanette turned and looked at me like, that's your car, and I was like, oh, go up there.
Right. Go up there,
Oh, that's
Justin.
me.
Right.
Like,
Like,
so,
way to go, car 34. Oh, wait. I'm car 34.
So neither one of us were expecting to win
Yeah.
anything.
I definitely was not.
So you got
expecting
second
to show
place?
Second place. And
What T-shirt were you wearing that
I
day,
was
Justin?
wearing my Ricky Bobby shirt, which I knew when I was holding the award. I was like, this is Great.
The irony.
So then we took a picture, and I was obviously second place, and the Ricky Bobby shirt says, if you're not first, you're last. And so I guess technically I was last, but
Awards nonetheless.
yeah, for putting it on the trailer and not
Right.
even washing the bitch. Like, all right, dude, I'm being humble. My car is fucking clean.
Yeah.
For an 06, it is.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's probably the cleanest original 06 paint I've seen.
You had a slight brain aneurysm over scratches that nobody saw
Dude,
on your bumper.
they're still out there. They're still out there.
Like literally, we had to like
this-
hold our tongue a certain way, get the flashlight out. He's like,
Look.
"See, they're right there." I'm like, "Justin, I don't see the scratches, man. I promise."
It almost
He's like, "Oh, they're
ended in-
fucking there."
It almost ended in divorce. So, because
Jesus Christ.
my driveway is at
He's
a down
joking.
slant.
He's joking.
The driveway is at a down slant, and putting the damn car on the trailer is a pain in the ass anyway, because it's so low, and it scratched it going on the trailer. But evidently you can't see it. But I still jacked my car up that night, jacked it up and got underneath it and buffed it. So I buffed out the scratches that were underneath it, so you can't see them now.
Good, good.
So
Crisis diverted.
So, the one last thing we gotta talk about was where we went for a cruise after the
oh yes.
after the awards were over.
Well, I went for a cruise first.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal because I don't street drive that fucking car anymore. And what are you doing?
Snapchat.
Oh, so I don't drive that car anymore on the street, and I really wish I could and did. I mean, I can, I just don't. Well, anyways, I made the loop, and the whole way I'm like, this is insane. Like, it's not like Royal Oak and Pontiac. There must be trailer parks around. In fact, we drove past one. That's all I'm gonna say. And everybody wants you to do a burnout.
Do a burnout.
Dude, motherfucker,
Do a
my
burnout.
tires are $350 a piece. Like, I'm not doing a burnout for you. Like, I know my car can do a burnout.
They didn't have a whole mouth of teeth between the group of them.
There was this
And
kid-
most of it was dudes, and they were. Well, when we got back and we went on our cruise, I ended up going with Dustin. So I made the loop. I didn't do any burnouts. It didn't get hot, which was good because normally, like the oil, last time I drove it, the oil got up to like almost 300 degrees. So it stayed right around like 230-ish. And so that was good. I came back to the lot and got in Big D's car, the Instigator. And
So-
we go for a ride.
Yeah.
And I'll let him narrate the rest of the story.
So we pull out the lot, and I get moderately aggressive turning onto Woodward. And
It's a sweeping left
right,
to get out of the lot onto Woodward.
right. I didn't want to pull any Mustang things or anything, but so we make our way around, and like he's saying, like every 10 feet, somebody's yelling at you to do a burnout. And this
That's a bad bitch. Do
Right.
a burnout. I got to see
Burnout.
that. Do
Yeah.
a burnout. Light
Yeah.
him up. Oh,
Yeah.
like the drunken lady at the lot.
Oh.
Oh, she was annoying. Anyways,
So, and I remember this one kid, he was probably about like 10. And he comes up to my window and he's like, all right, dude, full send right now.
full send.
And like, there's a
He's
car
like,
like
full send.
10 feet in front of me, dude.
Yeah, literally, and it was a
Like,
Honda,
Yeah.
and
like,
it was literally 10 feet.
like, I'm sorry, bro. It's your full send is not going to happen.
You
right
couldn't
now.
even burp the throttle and avoid ass packing
No.
that car. That's how close it was.
Jesus.
And of course, the guy in the Honda in front of me was like, every person that told him to do a burnout, he did a burnout.
Dude, if I had some junk tires, I would. But
I kept waiting for him to break,
yeah,
honestly.
because it
But-
wasn't just like enough to get them spinning. It was a pow, 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 pow. It was like off the rev limiter the whole time. Like it was a first gear burnout, and only first gear.
Jesus.
There was that guy in the lifted truck in the
Oh my god!
your side of the car.
You thought I wheel hopped bad.
Yeah.
This Ford like had air underneath his 35s. I mean, I thought axle was coming off and going through our windshield.
Yeah,
It was,
no,
dude,
that was bad.
jumped. Like literally, rear tire left the ground.
Yeah.
It was, and the other Ford that was next to us that wouldn't shut his fucking trap
Right.
the whole time. And both of my window was down. He was next to me. Do a burnout. Do a burnout. The Honda does a burnout. Do a burnout. You're going to let a Honda show you up. This happened.
Yeah.
To a T every 10 feet.
Yeah.
The same guy?
Well, no, it was other people telling people to do a burnout.
Right.
The Honda would do a burnout. Then those people would tell Dustin to do a burnout and say, you're going to let a Honda show you up? And then this guy over here would be like, he drives a purple car. He's a pussy. He can't do a burnout. So after like 6 times of this motherfucker saying that, I looked at him. I was like, all right, you do a burnout, and then we'll do a burnout. I can't. You see these tires? And I was like,
well, then shut
you do a burnout, and we will do one. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And then he shut up.
I'll get in there and show you how to do it.
Yeah, I'll get in there and show you how to drive it. Like, well, do a burnout in your fucking truck.
Right.
They weren't ginormous. They were like 33s.
That's a lot for a Ford.
No, that was a Chevy.
Right.
That was a
Chevrolet.
That was a Chevy.
Yeah.
But still,
no, that was
and
a
then,
perfect
so he
comeback,
had
though. It shut him the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
He had a passenger in the back seat, and then his girlfriend was in the driver's seat, and she was getting in on it, too. I'm like, I mean, I was really close to saying some just dumb, rude, nasty shit.
Like, shut your hole
Because
up.
Or,
I
I mean, she could show us our titties for
Right.
a burnout. Like, hey, tell your girlfriend to show us her boobs. We'll do a burnout. I mean, that would have got... We might have been in trouble.
He may have drove into the side of the purple car.
So I thought we were going to have to, because these motherfuckers would dump water out and walk up next to a car without anybody asking them to and hold the car.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So,
Woodward's finest?
dude,
Yeah.
I was like, Dustin, if anybody touches your car, I'm going to get out and beat them. Like, especially if you don't ask.
Right.
So, like, if I go do a burnout and you guys notice I'm shitty and Adam stands next to my car and holds it, so fine.
That's a hell of
but
a lot
I
different
don't
than...
know this guy that's grabbing my car, and who knows what's on his hands, or if he's got his belt on and he starts, who knows? Whatever.
Starts dry humping your car with his belt.
I mean, because I did win a show.
Right.
So
you just hear this belt's just over here. Like, what are you doing, dude? Sorry, Mo.
So we finally got around.
We got
that
around, and like the whole point of this deal was Sabrina wanted me to do a burnout in front of the lot, and she was going to stand in the street, and because the turn lane, she's going to stand in the street and video me doing a burnout. So
prior to this, everybody that wanted to do a burnout was in that lane, and they stopped. And nobody got next to them, around them, behind them, or even in front of them because you stopped.
You knew what was going on.
Yeah, everybody knew what the hell we were doing. And so we get around, I do my burnout, and everything's fine. And
it was only a halfway burnout that time.
Well,
because people drove up next to us.
Well, and the car started to get sideways a little bit, and it was heading towards the curb, and I don't want any of that shit. So I got out of it, and we're like, okay, we did our thing. We're going to pull into the lot and probably go home.
Right. Well, then I, in my mind, I was thinking, like, we still got to do it for Dale. Like, we have to do one really good one. So I was going to ask him to stop and do a good one, another one, and I even put my head out the window prior to that to make sure nobody was coming.
Right.
Like, stay away. We're about ready to do some hood rat shit.
Yeah.
So, now back to the story.
We get stopped at the light, and this gal comes up to the window and wants me to do another burnout. I'm like, I've already done 2 of them, lady. And she literally, like, sticks her chest in my window.
Oh, my God.
Wait a second. Her husband is behind her. I don't know if you've seen him. He was by the sign. Okay, and I'm assuming
he had a face full of titty.
No, I'm assuming it was her husband because...
Or whoever was with her.
They look like they belong together. Type deal, right?
Right.
And he's shaking his head no at our burnouts. Both of them that we did, he was shaking his head no.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Like, you walked here. Go do a burnout. Like, get your shoes wet.
Your Lambo feeties.
Yeah.
And so the lady comes in.
She comes in and, like, sticks her chest in my window. I'm leaning towards the center of the car, and I'm pointing behind me over my shoulder, and I'm like, My wife is back there. And she, make Mama happy.
Make Mama happy.
And she's shaking
Look,
whatever
they
she
weren't even titties.
calls
They were
boobs.
flapjacks, dude.
Nice.
And make
They
Mama
didn't even look
happy.
They didn't even look like tube socks and tennis balls. They looked like literally flapjacks. She didn't have a bra on,
No.
Yes.
and they were flat,
And
floppy titties.
she looks down again. She wants you to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like sticks them back in my car window, shaking them. I've never ran away from boobs before.
Dude. So
But-
I have seen some shit in Flint, and it, like, I've had prostitutes sit in my car or, offer me the gums for a bus fare, But I was honestly
Get that gum, bro.
speechless. I was like, I didn't know, because I wanted to laugh, like in her face, laugh, but that would have been rude. So I was quiet. It was
That would
fun.
have been rude.
I think rude goes out the window at this point. Like
Right.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's a care.
Like, that's where the Me Too movement comes in, because I was like completely violated.
What'd Saab do?
She
didn't
just saw
know about it.
She saw me leaning towards the center of the car and pointing behind me, because she thought that this gal was still kept trying to get me to do a burnout, not like necessarily getting me to touch her titties.
Right. She didn't know you were
And-
getting molested.
Right, yeah. And she's like, yeah, I was like 20 feet away. I saw the whole thing. I was like, well, you saw me leaning away.
I was on
and
Justin's
pointing
lap,
towards
okay?
I
her.
didn't want titties, babe.
Yeah.
I did not want titties.
You saw me do that, right? And she says, yeah. I was like, okay, well, as long as we're clear with that.
It
And,
wouldn't be a Dream Cruise event if.
right.
That's
if
crazy.
it wasn't some crazy shit happening. But she said if she would have known that that's what was going on, she would have cold-cocked her. And I'm like, that's what I was waiting for the entire time.
I was waiting for her to come out left field.
Yeah.
Dude, this lady straight up, her car, her house was in the parking lot across the street.
Nice.
So, I mean, it was definitely like a Walmart people.
Oh,
Like a people
well.
of Walmart shit. Like, it was.
It's not like females that are good looking like have to do that, right? Like,
Right.
they get molested like 30 times a day.
Yeah, like Jessica
Get hit
Barton
on when
isn't
they
gonna
don't
be
want
like,
to be
right,
and
do a
all that.
burnout.
It's yeah. Apparently that's how she gets attention, but she wasn't getting
Everybody
it from
else
me.
was hooting and hollering down there.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the people were drunk though.
Yeah.
That's
So-
yucky.
Dude, it was. I don't know how to describe this lady other than just.
It was horrible.
I don't know,
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, but this
It
was more like
was.
meth, because she had no teeth, and yeah,
It was horrible.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she was barefoot. I didn't bother to notice,
I didn't
but
bother to check either. I
it was
was like, hey baby, let me see those shoes.
the Goodwill ones.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, dude, so you were late to streetcar, or you were late to the lot. Speaking
Yeah.
of shoes,
Yeah.
so that's taken care of now.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God. So Sabrina bought a fuckload of shoes at
Oh.
DSW.
No. No. Yeah, I had to stop at the credit union because I had some fraudulent charges. I can never make it to Dream Cruise on time. There's always
Yeah.
something that fucks me up. So,
We missed the whole thing we wanted to talk about, COTS and the MM6.
oh,
Do we just want to cover that after MM6?
yeah.
Cool. So the
Yeah,
next
no
podcast,
time.
which means you guys are in luck, because we are going to do another podcast after MM6.
Yep.
Maybe next year, but
You working,
MM6.
Dustin?
Yeah.
Saturday?
Yep.
You still going, Justin?
If I go, it'll be later.
Yeah.
So
Looking like it might rain, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Again, as usual.
yeah, MM6 always or
Damn car events and rain.
it
I know.
it always has rain during the MM events. Always, like last year was rain, the year before was rain.
We're going to go down Saturday. I'm staying the night at Colin's house. And Sunday, hopefully taking Tony's car for a ride.
Ooh,
We got a few final
Oh,
things
man.
to get buttoned up in his car, and
12 years later.
12 years later. Car is beautiful. But
It is
it's,
nice.
A lot of work went into it. I'm just glad he's taking his time with it. Just kind of went excessive on the time,
A
but
little bit.
it's getting done nonetheless. So just a few things to button up. Hopefully we be blowing smoke here Sunday.
Cool. So we'll have some more stuff to talk about
Yeah.
next time. Let's bring Colin and Tony on the show.
Right. I mean,
Colin actually. Nope, he didn't swear in front of me. That's a nice guy.
Colin don't swear.
does. I know he
does, but
Here I am at Lapeer swearing like a fucking sailor, and this guy's like, "Yeah, it is rather warm outside."
no.
like a young Sheldon.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it is rather warm, and the humidity is rather unpleasant. Like, say it's fucking hot and sticky. Like,
Yeah.
By the way, Jesse, I'm coming for you.
oh shit!
You got
Oh,
your
shit.
mention.
When? Can you make the OP event?
No. We'll make it happen.
Cool. Well, we should turn this thing off now.
Okay.
You're rolling on like 2 hours.
No, an hour 25.
Okay.
All right.
All
Good deal.
right. See ya.